Hey, how's it going out there today, everybody? Hope everybody's having a great day. It's weekly recap time. I know we all look forward to this. If you don't know what it is, maybe think about subscribing, smashing that like button for me. I appreciate it. Weekly recap is basically I go over my numbers, my week, every single week. I don't cut out the bad ones to put it out there. If you do better, God bless. If you think I'm doing it all wrong, by all means, I don't care. I do what's best for me. You know what I mean? And if it gets in your feelings, it gets in your feelings. I don't make no bones about it. Like I say, we're not bragging. We're just putting information out there for people that want to, see it and see what's going on in the industry. That's, it's honest as it can be. I'm not here to make friends. I'm not here to make people mad. It's just information. Whatever it does to you emotionally is you letting it do it to yourself. So let that be said. Can I get an amen on that one? So what happens is I talk about the week, break down the variable cost, all that good stuff. At the end, you'll hear me say, this is the money left to do what I have to do with. That's where you would plug in, your truck payment if you have one, your insurance, all that good stuff. You'd plug that in. I'm leased to an 80-20 split carrier. I don't talk about the carrier. Find yourself a good carrier. It takes care of you, would be my recommendation. And let's see, what else? Most of these loads are refrigerated. If they're not refrigerated, I'll let you know they're not refrigerated. And that's kind of the rundown on it. So let's talk about it a little bit. First of all, I want to touch on some things, if I made a comment the other day on my last weekly recap. I don't know. I think I averaged like 270 something a mile, all miles. And somebody was like, well, if you can't make $3 a mile, you might as well just shut it down and sell everything. And I don't get the logic behind that. A lot of people can be profitable at less than $3 a mile. One guy even said with inflation and everything, he thinks I should shut it down if I can't make $4 a mile. And then one guy was like, hey, you should just go work for Walmart because, you can make more money at Walmart. So I want to address those things real quick because I get a lot of similar comments, with new people watch the videos. Hopefully the video gets shared out and a lot of people get to see it. And it brings in a lot of people that don't understand, like my mindset or thoughts. Number one, I got a very fuel efficient operation. Like I average 8 mile per gallon, average, for year round. My first quarter ifta was 8.85 miles per gallon. I touched 10 miles a gallon the other day with a 20,000 pound load going from Minnesota to Illinois. I can get those numbers. Trucks paid off. I keep up on the maintenance. One guy said you can't even keep a truck DOT legal for less than $3 a mile. I don't know where you're coming from with that one. Maybe, I don't know, stop spending money on the chrome and whatnot. But I got plenty of money to keep this truck rolling down the road. Come on. So to address those, there it is. And for the guys that say I'm holding out for $3 a mile, you could probably get that in this market if you run shorter runs. If you keep it like under 500 miles, you could probably average that. There's still some decent loads out there when the the right distance. But me personally, I'm not a big fan of like loading and reloading every day. So I still stick to, I'm not quite doing the 1,500 mile loads. Normally I like to go from Minnesota about 1,000 to 1,500 miles out, turn it around, come back with a backhaul. Again, somebody the other day said there's no such thing as a backhaul. It's just another load. Technically, it's a backhaul for me because I don't run all over the country. I go out and I come back. And the definition of a backhaul is a load that brings you back to where you left from. So if you're just running out and back, it's a backhaul. By definition, I don't make up the definitions. I'm just saying it's the definition. But so I've shortened up my loads a little bit. I'm doing more like 8 to 1,200 mile loads to try to get my, keep my revenue up a little bit per mile. But I'm not a big fan of like doing 500. So if you want $3 a mile, you can still get $3 a mile if you're running shorter loads. For me, it's just not something I'm particularly interested in. So if I got to drop down to like, 276, 280, right in that area for a load that doesn't have to unload and reload every day, I feel like I'm still doing about the same amount of revenue per week with the hassle being a little less. As far as the guy that says you got to hold out for $4 a mile, my recommendation would be just sell everything now, because the market's not supporting $4 a mile right now. We went there. I get it. Inflation's a beast right now. I'm not happy about fuel prices. I'm not happy about repair costs. I want $4 a mile. I'm not telling you, we shouldn't strive for highest rate we can get. But at the end of the day, I'm one truck. I don't control the market. I mean, frankly, I think that's what a lot of these guys think. Like, they control the market. You kind of do. If you want to sit home and not run the truck, then you control your market. But you get zero revenue from that. And for me, being a business owner, I take that like as a challenge. I got to be profitable and still be able to earn revenue. So that's where I come from with it. Have I been taking more time off in the last couple months? Yes. Because my strategy is when the rates are up, I run it. And when they're down, that's when I kind of coast it out and, take more home time and don't worry about stuff as much. As far as like, being all about revenue. Now, I still keep everything up. You got to keep everything up no matter what. But for me, $4 a mile, if that's your gotta have it is $4 a mile. Now, I hope you're talking averages, because if not, you're going to be doing like 100-mile loads. And if that's what you want to do is 100-mile loads, then you could probably get $4 a mile. But your like weekly income is not going to be that good. I mean, like covering your overhead's going to hurt some in doing it that way. But if that's what you need, then get it. But, if you've been parked for 3 or 4 months already and you're just holding out for $4 a mile, my recommendation would be, shut everything down, insurance and all, because you're just throwing money away if you're holding out for $4 a mile. Maybe even sell everything while you can still get some money for it. Who knows what the future holds, though. So it's not financial advice. It's just a thought. So let's break down this week I got here. So I went from Minnesota down to Virginia. You know me, Minnesota out back. Negative 10-degree load. I had 91 empty miles on that one. 42,500. She was a heavy one. 1,268 total miles on that one. $4,400. So I dug it. That was a good paying load. I take those. Coming back was the problem. Coming out of Virginia was garbage. Which I knew it was going to be, you know what I mean? So I told them, I said, hey, here's the deal. If we're going to take a lower rate to come out of Virginia, I want it to be a light load. I'm not going to pull the guts out of my truck for $2 a mile across the mountains. It just ain't going to happen. So they were looking for some light loads. They found a light load. It was like 18,000 pounds out of Virginia. Booked it. They called me back. They said, hey, buddy, we're going to cancel that load. I'm sure they found somebody to do it cheaper, whatever. I don't care. It was nice, though. It was coming right back to, like, literally just miles of my yard here. So that was pretty sweet, but sometimes they don't work out. So we was kind of in a pinch there a little bit, looking on a Friday, trying to get something back home. And the way that worked was found a load out of Pennsylvania. So come up out of Virginia, and I'm talking like Pittsburgh part of Pennsylvania, from like central Virginia. I'm not afraid to deadhead. If the load, for me, see, and this is why I like going out and coming back, because I can search loads from where I'm at all the way back to Minnesota, and whatever, is paying is what I'm going to run. I don't care if it picks up 20 miles from Minnesota. If it pays more in loads coming out of Virginia, I'm going to deadhead all the way to that load. And that's the strategy, and that's what I did. I went up to Pittsburgh and grabbed a load. 256 deadhead miles on it. Like I said, I'm not afraid of a deadhead. 880 loaded miles on that one for $2,600. So not a bad rate, almost $3 a mile, but all the deadhead shot it, But like I say, I was looking at loads out of Virginia for like $2,200, and I'm like, well, I can make $400 more deadheading all the way up to Pittsburgh and grabbing a load back to Minnesota. And it came right into Minnesota in the Minneapolis area there. So not bad. It was a dry load as well, 41,000 pounds. So I was pretty happy with that, you know. That's the way I like to do it. Now, this was a 6-day week. I did take off one day before I started running again. So, 6-day week. Total revenue, $7,000. Total gross, my 80%, $5,600 on 80%. 2,404 all-in miles on that. 2,404 all-in miles. 347 deadhead on that. 17% deadhead. So 17 of every 100 miles this truck ran was empty. So that's, like I said, I'm more of a deadheader than a set and wait for a better rate, because I look at it like this. If I'm in an area where the rates aren't very good, the chances are, unless it's like a certain day, you know, unless it's like a Sunday, and I know the rates might be better on a Monday, I might set for that. But like on a Friday, I'm going to take something and go, even if I got a deadhead to get it. So 347 on deadhead, 17% deadhead, 2,057 loaded miles, 2,057 on the loaded. All in miles, 291 a mile. So I did notice a little tick up on rates on this week. My 80% is 233 a mile on my 80%. Loaded miles, 340 a mile loaded miles. So pretty good loaded mile rate there. I can be happy with that at 340 a loaded mile. Like I said, the deadhead on that one's really what hurt us. But, you know, you make more revenue deadheading and you get to run the miles empty, which, you know, it's like I'm coming back to Minnesota either way. So the more empty miles I can run and still have the same amount of revenue is a bonus to me. So let's go over to variable cost. We got $1,530 on diesel. Whew. Man, for a 2,400 mile week, that's a lot on diesel. 173 on reefer. This was the last week I ran with the older trailer I had for about a month. I got my trailer back. It had been in the shop getting some alignment stuff done. It was off tracking to the side a little bit, so we had it, you know, we had to wait like 2 weeks to get into the shop to get the alignment done on it. But we got it back. Well, it took about a week to get it in, and then the driver that went and picked it up kept it instead of bringing it back to the yard. I ain't mad at it. He was going out that way anyway, so for him to double back, you know, with the trailer, I was not mad about it. It's not my trailer, but it's the one I like to pull. But I got it back for the next week, so reefer consumption did go down. That was a lot of reefer for, you know, having a frozen food load, and then the rest of the week coming back was a dry load. So, you know, with these high prices and running a negative 10-degree load in the heat, boy, I paid for it with $173 in reefer, $44 in def, $457 in tolls. Ouch, ouch, ouch. I really couldn't afford to go around them. These were both tight scheduled loads. And on the way back, I was just wanting to get home. So I took the Indiana toll road. So technically, if I would have dodged that going out and I would have dodged it coming back, I could have dropped that down at a little over $100. So that's why the tolls were so high. I scaled both of those, $26. The cat scale is officially $13 now. I just got an update on the cat scale app the other day, so we're paying $13 to scale now. $15 on parking. I did pay for one night of parking out there in Virginia. And yeah, that's it. That's a lot of cost in this week. It's just one of those weeks where it just kept adding up, you know. I've been trying to look for dry loads as much as possible, just because, you know, when you're paying $6 a gallon for reefer fuel, that adds up really, really quick. So if I can get dry loads in the same like ballpark of, you know, within $100, you know, if they're not going to pay me at least $200 or $300 more to run a reefer load, I'm going to take the dry load, because I spend at least $100, you know, even on a short load. Now that I got my good trailer back, my reefer cost should go down quite a bit, but, you know, just it is what it is. Reefer fuel's high right now, so I try to run as many dry loads as possible. All right, so let's break down the end of the week here. $5,600. My 80% on a 6-day week, not horrible. Like I say, live rates, whatever, you know. At 2,400 miles on a 6-day, I was averaging about 400 miles a day of running. So I'm not running too hard, but you know how that reefer game is. It's a lot of it's sitting and waiting. So $5,600, my 80%, we bring down $2,245. That's the total variable cost. And then we subtract another $500 for maintenance because, 20 cents on 2,400 miles is $480. I round up to the nearest 50. That puts me at $500 in maintenance. Been just blowing through maintenance here lately. Tire, shocks, brakes, radiator, charge air cooler. What else? I mean, we're going through some stuff here lately, but these roads are so rough. I know that's what happened to my tire. I know I broke a belt in that thing. Indiana Toll Road, I had a concrete pothole that the other side was just like a straight 90-degree edge. And like I hit that thing and bam, I knew when I hit it, I was like, that was a special kind of bump. I mean, that jarred everything in the truck. Like, it hurt. I physically had pain from it. And I noticed a little vibration in the truck later that day. It did explode the shock on that side. I had a leak on the shock, so I went ahead and got the steers shocks replaced that day. And then later on in the week when I got back home, the tire was just progressively getting a little worse and wearing funny, so I've had that replaced now. So these roads are absolutely costing me a fortune. Not only the tolls, but the repairs that go along with them. So we subtract all that out, and that leaves me $2,855 left to do what I have to do with. And to address the guy that said, hey, you can make more money going and working at Walmart. Possibly, maybe not. I just don't, as long as I can stay in business, I'm going to stay in business for myself. I like being self-employed. I like the challenges. I like the effort. I'm not a great employee. You know what I mean? I'm not, and when I say not a great employee, I mean for myself. It takes a toll on me being an employee because I'm not a phone it in, do it half-ass type of person. And I don't want to work harder and smarter and then everybody else around me just phoning it in. It wears on me so bad to be in that situation. That's why I don't work well at union shops. I mean, I know there's some hardworking guys at union shops, but there's a lot of guys just sitting around knowing that, hey, I'm not going to get fired. I'll just fight it with the union, that's not my mentality. So could I make more at Walmart? Yeah, possibly. I mean, hell, there's a lot of good paying jobs I could possibly make more by the time you factor in, what I pay for health insurance and what I pay for blah, 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 this, that, and the other. But at the end of the day, I choose my destiny, and I like that a little more than, some 22-year-old that's never even been in a truck sitting in an office 2,000 miles away telling me what I should be doing and what I shouldn't be doing. And, every time I have to hit the brakes hard because the four-wheeler cuts in front of me, I don't need a phone call from some guy that's never drove a truck saying, you brake too hard, that's a problem. Well, what was the alternative? To not hit the brakes hard? You mean just plow through them? You mean drop a gear? You mean to put it in manual mode and start dropping gears and just push them off the road? I can't stand that kind of stuff. So, and my company uniform right here, my orange shirt, I got about 50 of these things. I wear them because they're comfortable. It's like, I don't need to have a company shirt. I dealt with that at Averett. They tell you, oh, you gotta shave your beards. You gotta, get you got the wrong crease in your pants. You can't wear those socks with those shoes. And I'm just like, why not? Why not? So, I don't know. That's my thing. If you're an employee, no disrespect. Everybody's got to, hoe their own road. But for me, if I can stay in business, I'm going to stay in business for myself. I just like it. I mean, I've been this way for, hell, since I was a kid. When I was like 15 or 16, I was running businesses. I was getting loans from the freaking USDA, back when I was 16 to start businesses. So, it's just who I am. So, possibly could I make more? Yeah, there's probably people. But anyway, we'll talk to you later, everybody. Be careful out there.